What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. This is Nate coming at you guys with a new mock draft today. It is officially April 1st. It is officially draft month. My NFL draft hat just came in the mail today. These things are nice, by the way. Big fan of the design on the top. Get the one with the pin if you can. I got too big of a head for a fitted hat, so I had to get the snapback. That's neither here nor there. But with it being officially draft month, I wanted to get another mock draft out to you guys. The first one we have done so far in this draft season with trades. There will be at least a couple of trades in this mock draft. I'm real curious to see what you guys think about these. There's always movement. There's always movement in these. So without further ado, as you guys can see here on the screen, I'm going to fire up the PFF mock draft simulator. We're just going to do one round with trades. Let's get this thing started here. And it's Tennessee on the clock at pick number 1. I don't see any way that they move this pick. I just truthfully don't. I think that they're all in on Cam Ward as the quarterback here. And I don't even want to know what it would cost to have to move up to get him. I know the Giants are going to be interested in doing that. I'm sure the Browns would be interested in taking that pick from them. I just don't see any way that they trade this pick personally. So I'm going to stick and pick here, and we're going to go with Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. Bringing up the Browns on the clock here. Another kind of interesting spot. Is it best player available versus positional need? I don't think Shedeur Sanders is the second best player in this draft class. I've been pretty open about that. I barely have him as a first-round guy, honestly. Abdul Carter's pretty clearly a first-round talent here. Super talented guy. But they just paid Myles Garrett all that money. Do you want to just dominate off the edge with Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett? Do you think that Shedeur Sanders can get it done this year with your team? They've got a kind of an older roster. They need somebody behind a good offensive line, which you have in Cleveland. Maybe you look to go wide receiver in round 2. And we all know that quarterbacks go way earlier than they should. I mean, just last year we had 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks. And I didn't think 3 of them were worth first-round picks, truthfully. Now they played well this year. And again, that may work in Shedeur Sanders' favor this time. I think Cleveland has no direction. I think Cleveland's going to go with the quarterback. I'm going to have Shedeur Sanders come off the board here at pick number 2 as well. Putting the Giants in an interesting spot. I think it's pretty easy, though. Honestly, I think that they probably want Travis Hunter. You're not going to go with the QB here. I don't know what. You got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Those aren't your future, but I don't see them going Jackson Dart here. He feels more of a late first, like a trade back into the first kind of guy. Definitely not at pick 3 for me. I absolutely could not get behind that. So I'm going to have them go ahead and get Travis Hunter off the board here. Corner number 1, wide receiver number 1. I'm assuming that'll be what Addison has too, as we should hopefully have his ranking videos out in the very near future where he does wide receivers and corners. I will not be surprised. Now maybe he doesn't, but I will not be surprised to see Travis Hunter at the top of both of those lists. This guy's awesome. New England on the clock here. I think New England might trade this pick, honestly. So, who needs a pass rusher? Not the Jags. Definitely not I would say probably not the Raiders. Maybe the Jets. But I'm looking at the Panthers at pick number 8 here. And I think the Panthers just gave away, Brian Burns. They don't have anybody on the edge, really, to rush the passer. Well, Abdul Carter is a guy that I think would fit seamlessly into that defense. So I'm going to have New England move back here with the Carolina Panthers. And I don't know what is going to be. I don't have the trade chart pulled up. I would love to, but I don't. So obviously they're not going to make that trade. I'm just going to offer up the picks to get it done. A 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2 to move up 4 spots and get the edge rusher. I'd like to just force this trade. Again, the actual parameters of the trade are not that important in this instance. Because I think this could happen. I think the Panthers could say, we need to move up and get something. And as if the Patriots, you're full in on a rebuild. You have a lot of needs. You can get an extra second-round pick. You can get another first and second-round pick next year. I think it's a no-brainer for me. And I'm going to have them move back here. And Carolina's going to come up, and they're going to get Abdul Carter at pick number 4. Desperately needing pass rush help, and you get the best one. After him, it's like Jalen Walker, Mike Green, James Pierce. I don't know. I don't love any of them as much as I love Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter's ceiling is elite. I think it's elite as an edge rusher. So I'm going to have them move up and take him. I also considered the Bears here moving up, but that would be so pricey to move up from 10 to 4. So I'm just going to have them sit, and I'm going to say the Panthers get aggressive and go up and get Abdul Carter. And then we've got the Jaguars on the clock here. I am going to stay Mason Graham. I think Mason Graham is very, very good. I think he is a lockdown run defender, and he's a really solid pass rush defensive tackle as well. The guy is excellent. He has an argument for best player in the entire class. I mean, from the defensive tackle position, 5 sacks last year, played every single game, an elite grade on PFF, but his run defense, like I said, a 92.6 is unbelievable. But then a 13% pass rush win rate is excellent as well. The guy's just a stud, and I think we're getting a little prospect fatigue with him maybe. I think he's a 2-time state champion wrestler. You guys know I love to see linemen with wrestling backgrounds. I think that they need to address that defensive tackle position, so I'm going to have Mason Graham go to the Jaguars here at pick number 5. Raiders on the clock here. It has been pretty consistently Ashton Jeanty for them at pick number 6. It's hard for me to go against that, honestly. I don't really want to go against that. I feel like he makes the most sense for them at this spot. Everywhere else, I mean, him or Tetairoa McMillan are probably your best bets for picks here. I'm going to stay chalk. I'm going to go with Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders here at pick number 6. Curious to hear what you guys think about that, Raiders fans, what you think about that pick. Jets on the clock here with obvious needs at right tackle. And there's a really good right tackle in this class. He's offensive lineman 1 for me. I hate making this pick. I hate it, but I have to do it. I have to be fair. And this is a predictive mock and not what I want to happen. You know, I can't make the best player fall to my teams. So I got Armand Membou going to the Jets here. Could see them as the landing spot for Tyler Warren also. Get another weapon for Justin Fields. But you put Armand Membou on that offensive line, and now you've got your bookend tackles for 10 years, at least, in Olu Fashanu and Armand Membou. You've got your center in Tippmann. You've got good guards in Elijah Vera Tucker and Simpson. You've built an excellent offensive line in front of Justin Fields. Let's see what he can do. I don't hate that. I'm not a true believer in Justin Fields and being elite, but give him a best chance, and you do that by building a wall in front of him for sure. Patriots on the clock here at pick number 8, and I think the board fell really, really well for them here. And they're going to go offensive line as well. They're going to go with Will Campbell out of LSU. You just need good offensive linemen if you're New England. You don't have very many. You've got Mike Onwenu. You got rid of David Andrews, but then you brought in, I think it was Garrett Bradbury. You brought in the Vikings old center. So you've got some pieces there, but not much. Not much. Will Campbell is day 1 starter at left tackle for you. Can play guard if you need him to. Yeah, the arm length is an issue. Guys, he was excellent at LSU. I think we can look past it. Is there a chance that he struggles in the NFL because of his arm length? Absolutely. But is there also a chance that he's an elite left tackle like he was in college? Of course there is. So we're going to make that pick for them there. Saints on the clock here, needing running back, wide receiver, and defensive line. Kind of a tough pick for me to go with here because there's a couple of guys I really like for them. I like Kenneth Grant a lot in this spot. They need a running back. I don't think they go Omarion Hampton here. I think that's too early. I could see them going with a Tetairoa McMillan in this spot. I wouldn't hate that pick for them at all. Give them a good wide receiver on the outside. They just have a lot of needs. And when you have a lot of needs, it's smarter to just go best player available. And on this, and I think that's probably Tetairoa McMillan. Again, I'm trying to be predictive here. Tetairoa McMillan's a freak athlete, super tall, excellent ball skills. Like, there's not a lot to dislike about him except he isn't the great separator, which is kind of what the NFL loves, is great separators. But I am just going to go BPA here. I'm going to go arguably BPA here at a position of need. Tetairoa McMillan, and have him play X wide receiver for you. He's a traditional X wide receiver. He's your outside guy. He's your jump ball specialist. Every quarterback's best friend. No one's open. I'm just going to throw it downfield. I know he's down there, and he's going to go up and win those balls. He's the biggest guy in the field. So I don't hate that pick for them at all. Bears on the clock here. Running back, defensive line, and safety marked as needs. I'm going to pass on safety here. I'm going to go with Tyler Warren. I like the fit. I like the fit of Tyler Warren in this offense. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't have too many good tight ends. Yeah, they could use a tackle here, but I'm not going to force like a Josh Simmons at 10 to them, especially when it's not like a need. And I know you've got Cole Kmet, but Cole Kmet has never really proven himself to be a star. Tyler Warren was Penn State's offense most of this season. And when you're a tight end in college, most of your offense, and you're one of the best 3-4 teams in the entire country, that says something to me. Tyler Warren does it all. He's built in the same mold as like a guy like Sam Laporta, who Ben Johnson just got done coaching. Built like a George Kittle. He's I'm going to block you. I'm going to do everything for this offense. And I think the Bears would be smart to double down on that and get another good tight end in here and run some double tight end sets. I don't see any problem with that at all. San Francisco on the clock here at pick number 11. I'm tempted to make another trade here. And I probably could have done it at the last pick, but I'm going to say, who would want to move up? I'm going to have, who else needs a tight end? Do the Colts move up maybe? Could the Colts move up? Who needs DB? The Dolphins really need a corner, but there's 2 available, and you got to hope one of them gets to you. So I don't think the Dolphins would trade up here. I could see Arizona maybe moving up. I don't think the Colts jump up because no one's going to take a tight end in front of them, but someone could take the linebacker that they want. Miami could take the linebacker. Seattle needs offensive line. Bengals need to make some moves. All right, I'm going to have San Francisco stick and pick here because they do have a lot of needs. And I am a guy I just mentioned. I am going to have them go ahead and take Josh Simmons here. And I have concerns about Josh Simmons' play strength. It's not the best. He's more of I'm going to get in front of you. I'm not going to block and move you, offensive lineman. But you cannot knock his athleticism. It's unbelievable. He's a super athlete at tackle, very agile, great lateral movement for him. Just not excellent play strength, and he's coming off of a pretty serious knee injury. So can he be that guy still? We will see. I'm going to have him go at pick 11 here because you need to figure out what you're going to do when Trent Williams is done. He's been injured frequently, so I don't hate this pick for them at all. Dallas on the clock here, running back, wide receiver, guard, and edge marked off as their needs. I see a lot of edge. I'm going to pass on an edge rusher here, although it is very tempting. And I'm going to go the wide receiver. I'm going to go a guy that is falling down boards, and I will not stand for this slander anymore. Luther Burden is too good. Look at this season he had with competent quarterbacking play. He was elite last year in 2023 with good quarterbacking play. And 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. There's a reason he was a top 5 pick in most mock drafts after past season. Now this last season, yeah, he didn't have the volume. He didn't have good quarterbacking play. Still put up solid numbers. I think he's an excellent separator. Very, very good wide receiver. He is the, like you said, multi-sport athlete, very well-rounded, can succeed at any receiver position. Very, very good player, just a chess piece, and I think Dallas needs that at wide receiver. They don't have much. You've got CeeDee Lamb, and then who? I don't see much, so I'm going to go with Luther Burden here. Miami on the clock at pick number 13, and I am going to make a trade. Miami is going to be trading this pick and going to be moving down, but the question is to who? I've got a couple of thoughts. I think Denver might want to move up and jump a couple of teams and get a running back. I think that they may love some of these running backs that are available. I think the Bucs may really want to move up and get someone. I think the Cardinals desperately need a corner, and I think I'm going to make the trade with Arizona. And again, the parameters of this are not that important. It's just the fact that we're making this trade here. So the Dolphins will give up pick 13, get back pick 16, and we'll say they get back pick 47 as well to move back a couple spots. Now, obviously, they will probably get maybe less, maybe more. Who knows? I don't really mind so much. Arizona's going to make the trade up to pick number 13 here. And let's see, who are they moving up to take? They need D-line, they need corner, and Jahdae Barron standing right there. Jahdae Barron, you know that there's some teams that need corner ahead of you. Miami may not want to move back, but there may be other guys that they're more targeting at that position instead of a corner here. They did sign some guys. So we're going to have Arizona move up and take arguably CB1 outside of Travis Hunter, Jahdae Barron out of Texas. Colts on the clock here. I'm not going to overthink this one. It says they have a lot of needs. I don't know about all that. I could see them as a trade down team as well, but I'm going to have them just stick and pick Colston Loveland. I think we're overthinking Colston Loveland as well. I think we're just starting to overthink these tight ends. They're good. You need a good tight end. Look at the best teams in the NFL. They've always got good tight ends. Always have solid tight ends. So we'll go Colston Loveland there at pick number 14. Atlanta on the clock here at pick 15. I know the fun pick has been Mykel Williams. I don't think I'm going to do that here, though. I am going to have them get Raheem Morris, a new starting linebacker, and that's Jahad Campbell out of Alabama. Love this guy as a player. He can rush the passer. He can drop back in coverage. He's just an elite athlete that plays middle linebacker that has really good size for the position, too, along with really solid instincts, man. Really solid instincts. But his pass rush grade was way better than average. Coverage grade way better than average. Really low missed tackle percentage, which you just love to see. Good coverage. I mean, the guy's just an elite talent. And like I said, good size, too. 6'3", 244 per PFF. You're only 21 years old. Just an elite talent. And you give someone like Raheem Morris, that guy, to mold in his defense. I love that for them. Miami on the clock here after they did make a slight trade down. I think is pretty happy with their options. I want offensive line. That's not what they're going to do. And if they were, they would have moved up and jumped ahead of offensive line needy teams. But they didn't. They stuck there, so we're going to stick and pick here. And I'm going to go with personal favorite. I'm going to go Walter Nolan. I think Walter Nolan has a chance to be the best defensive tackle in this class. I think his upside is as high as is higher probably than Mason Graham's. I think Mason Graham has a higher floor. I think Walter Nolan has the highest ceiling of the defensive tackles in this class. And Miami needs this. They need a guy to play that interior defensive end 3-4 position. They don't have anybody to do it. You've got what's his name, Nick Dickerson as a guy that's supposed to be starting on our defensive line right now. That's terrifying. And then there's literally no one in depth. You have to get a position here. And I think you go for high talent and you just take Walter Nolan. You would move down. You picked up an extra second-round pick to address offensive line with. And you get a day one starter in Walter Nolan. I love that pick for Miami. Moving on to Cincinnati here at pick 17. Guard, defensive line, and linebacker. I think we maybe have a little defensive tackle run going on here. And we go ahead and get Kenneth Grant off the board. I think Kenneth Grant will go maybe a little higher than most people expect, although you may expect him around this range. This is a freak athlete at his size, 330 plus pounds, 6 foot, 340 here, and he tested great at the combine. You see it in the game too. This guy has an unbelievable motor for his size. He runs down offensive skill position players that he shouldn't be running down because he has them outweighed by 160 pounds, and he runs them down. It's unbelievable. You got to just start building into that defense now if you're Cincinnati because you've spent every dollar you have on the offensive side of the football. I love the Kenneth Grant selection here. Seattle Seahawks on the clock here. You just signed Sam Darnold, who really struggles when the interior of the pocket gets pushed. He struggles to get outside of the pocket. He prefers to step up into the pocket, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only issue is you have to have a good interior offensive line for him to do that. And while an edge rusher would be tempting here and other positions as well, I just don't see them making that pick. So Seattle on the clock here. Sorry about the brief interruption, everybody. I think you've got to go interior offensive line, as I was saying. So when you go and you look at the available offensive linemen, you've got a couple here like Kelvin Banks, Gray Zabel. I don't think Tyler Booker for them, although they aren't exactly a zone. You know what? I think I'm changing my mind. I think I'm going to go Tyler Booker here. Seattle fans, tell me what you guys think about that pick. Is Seattle going to be more of a ground and pound power team? Because that's where Tyler Booker thrives. He thrives when he's fighting in a phone booth. He can move guys if it's just move them forward. But if you need him to pull, he's not going to be able to do it. If he gets outside of that phone booth, he's cooked. But if he's in that phone booth just duking it out with the guy across from him, more often than not, man, he's going to win that battle. So I like Tyler Booker to Seattle if that's the kind of offense you're going to run. Seattle fans, let me know in the comments if that's your offense, if that's what you guys are going to run. So that's where I'm going with that pick. Tampa Bay on the clock here, mainly best defensive players. I'm going to just go value, and I'm going to go, I'm going to go Will Johnson. Yeah, let's go with Will Johnson in that spot. Just too good to be available still at pick 19, honestly. I think he's going to be an excellent cornerback. He's got such good size for the position. He's an elite zone coverage guy, great at playing off the ball, just super talented all around. So I like Will Johnson to Tampa Bay there. Denver on the clock here. They thought about trading up, ended up staying and sticking there, and they're going to pick there too. And they're going to go ahead and they're going to take Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina. Just so good, man. Just so good. Love the fit here for them. They need an RB1. You could argue a wide receiver, but I'm going to just say no thank you. We'll take Omarion Hampton and go from there. Pittsburgh on the clock here. They need a safety according to this. I know they've got Deshaun Elliott. I believe he's still there. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Could go with someone like a Malachi Starks. I wouldn't hate that. They heavily drafted offensive line last year, so I'm avoiding that. They need a running back, but I'm not going to push the envelope for one here. It depends on what you like Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins are guys that you would consider, but I don't know about it. Pick 21. I could see them wanting to trade down potentially, but as it is, I'm going to have them stick. I'm just going to have them take best defensive player at this point, and that's Malachi Starks. Just a Swiss Army knife of a defensive back, can play in the nickel, can play deep safety, can play in the box, does it all for him. You get a really smart defender to play with Minkah Fitzpatrick, who he's very similar to stylistically. So I like those two teaming up for the long term in Pittsburgh. They could be excellent together. Chargers on the clock here. You're going to need an edge rusher, man. You're going to need an edge rusher. I'm going to go Mike Green, who's just sitting right there for him. You just lost Joey Bosa. You brought back Khalil Mack, who's an elite run-defending edge rusher, but he's not an elite pass rusher anymore. You need guys that can get after the quarterback. I know you probably want an offensive player, an offensive weapon. I do that in the second round. I go get Mike Green here, who just is coming off of, 20 sacks almost? Or how many sacks do you have this past year? 17 sacks this past year. Back-to-back elite seasons on PFF with a 20% pass rush win rate. That's elite. Very, very talented player. Love that pick for them. Green Bay on the clock here. I mean, if these guys are all falling, maybe you do go with a wide receiver in the first round for the first time ever. Could see them doing that. I don't think they will, though. Guys, we know Green Bay. Green Bay doesn't do that. So I'm not going to have them do it. I'm going to have them stay here. I'm going to have them go with an edge rusher. And I think Donovan Izaraku fits their style more than James Pierce does. So I'm going to have Donovan Izaraku come off the board here. All around, really productive pass rusher. Obviously, super good grade per PFF, 14 sacks, 26 quarterback hurries. He's played every game these past 3 seasons. Very impressive. He's just more built than James Pierce is. James Pierce is the speed rusher. I think Izaraku's just a little elite for, I don't know, I guess they're pretty similar, but good bull rush, really solid guy. We'll go Donovan Izaraku here. I think it's a coin flip between him and James Pierce at that spot. Minnesota picking here at pick number 24, and I'm going to continue to make this pick until I'm proven otherwise. I'm going with Nick Emmanwori. I'll just spoil that one a little bit for you. I think he's going in the first round. I think he's way too good to be available later on in the draft. And then he was already a fringe first round guy, maybe early 2. And then he goes and he does what he did at the combine, and it's like, we have another Derwin James. You give someone like this to Brian Flores, who relies on his safeties in one-on-one attempts to make these tackles. That's what Javon Holland did great for him, was make those one-on-one tackles. Now, obviously, he didn't do that this past year for us. That's besides the point. I'm over it. He's a giant now. But Brian Flores needs safeties to make tackles. Well, that's what Nick Emmanwori does. He doesn't miss tackles. A missed tackle rate of 7.2%. Look at where that dot is, guys. Look at that. That's insane. That's insane. He does not miss out on an opportunity to bring the guy down across from him. And you add in the elite athleticism to cover in man if needed. I love that. I love that fit in Brian Flores' defense for cover 0 blitzes. He'll be excellent out there if that's who they stay and pick. And you did just lose Cam Bynum to the Colts. You didn't bring in anybody in free agency as far as I know. I'm pretty sure Trayvon Moehrig didn't go there. If he did, I'll look silly, and that's okay. I'm used to it. Houston on the clock here. Draft fell pretty nicely for them. 2 positions of need, all available. Do they even value offensive line? I don't know. Maybe they just don't value the offensive line. You have 1 good offensive lineman and 4 bad ones. So you should replace the 4 bad ones, right? Nah, let's get rid of the good one. Let's get rid of the 1 good one we have. They need to go offensive line here. But you could also get a Emeka Egbuka, who I'm pretty sure played with C.J. Stroud. That's going to be tempting for them. And I don't know if they value the offensive line position like they should. I'm going to say they don't. I'm going to go Emeka Egbuka here. Sorry about it. I'm going to say they don't value the position like they need to. And they're going to take Emeka Egbuka and just add another wide receiver to that room. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is gone. Now you've got Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Emeka Egbuka. And who knows how long Tank Dell is going to be hurt for with that brutal leg injury at the end of the season. So you may only have a guy like Nico Collins, and adding in Emeka Egbuka, who can open things up underneath and be kind of the slot receiver for you that just runs excellent routes with great hands. I don't hate that at all. Rams on the clock here, needing a little bit of everything, it looks like. Need tight end, tackle. I'll have them go ahead and get an offensive lineman here. I'm going to get Kelvin Banks off the board. Probably on the board a little bit too long, honestly. So we'll go Kelvin Banks there. Can play, was elite at tackle for Texas outside of a couple of rough games. You got to go offensive line. You did bring back Alaric Jackson, but you still need pieces, and he can play guard, I think, at a high level too. So we're going to do that. Let's see. Baltimore on the clock here. Need an edge rusher. I think a very Baltimore pick is Shamar Stewart. Again, haven't seen him do it on the field. He wasn't asked to do it a whole lot on the field. So I'm someone I want to see you produce on the field too. I can't just bank on you figuring it out at the pro level because that's a hard thing to do. Shamar Stewart had, 2 sacks. He's credited for 6 sacks on here over a 3-year career. Very good against the run, but he was also playing a lot heavier than he was playing at 290 this past season. However, he tested at the combine a lot lighter. How's he going to play? Is he going to be a speed rusher or is he going to be that bigger player? If I'm going to trust any defensive team to figure that out, I'm probably going to trust the Ravens to figure that out and go with, I think I'm going to go with Shamar Stewart here. I'm going to go Shamar Stewart here. And then for the Lions, I'm going to have them grab Gray Zabel, offensive lineman out of North Dakota State. You need an offensive lineman. You need an interior guy. Gray Zabel projects as an interior offensive lineman at the next level, and a pretty dang good one at that. So we'll go with Gray Zabel for Detroit. Washington on the clock here. They are going to go edge rusher James Pierce out of Tennessee. Speed rusher. They need guys that can get home. You got to start working on that defense. You might have figured out the offense. Now it's time to figure out the defense, and that's Dan Quinn's specialty. So I like that pick for them a lot. Let's see. Buffalo Bills on the clock here, needing linebacker, edge, and corner. Well, there's a guy here that could probably fill 2 of those, and that's Jalen Walker out of Georgia. I think it's too late for him to go at pick 30. Personally, I could see it, but I just think it's too late. He should already be well off the board here. But we'll go ahead and give him to the Buffalo Bills, who are probably thrilled with that. I think that's a really good pick for them. Kansas City Chiefs on the clock here. Couple of options. Could go defensive lineman. Could go with a guy like Nick Gowerton. Go with a Derek Harmon, a Mykel Williams. Maybe they go wide receiver again. Why not, right? You've got Rashee Rice and you've got Xavier Worthy. And then what? You got 2 guys and you got an aging Travis Kelce. I know you need a tackle. I know you do. I'm going to go with Matthew Golden in this spot. Too good to still be available, man. And yep, there's plenty of offensive linemen you can get in the second round that are going to be ready to go. You can even move up for a Josh Connerly if you want to. So I really like that pick for them personally. Curious to hear what you guys think about that. And then the Eagles to end this first round mock draft. Their needs on here: wide receiver, guard, edge, and corner. Probably looking at edge here. I don't think the board fell exactly how they'd like it to. They did just lose Milton Williams, so you've got to replace those snaps. And that's probably what I'll do here. I don't want Landon Jackson at this spot. I definitely don't want Braden Swinson, who's been flying up boards recently. I think I'm going to go No, I should probably go Derek Harmon. I think Derek Harmon's just better than Darius Alexander. Would fit in really nicely in the defensive rotation with Jalen Carter and with Jordan Davis. I know it's not a Georgia defensive player, so that might change it to Mykel Williams because he is available there. But I'm going to go with an interior. No, let's be smart. This is a predictive mock draft. Mykel Williams will be the pick here. It's a Georgia Bulldog defender, guys. It's what they do. So that's going to do it for the first round here. Let me know what you guys think about that. Only a couple of trades. One with the team moving up to secure an edge rusher, and then obviously it worked out pretty well for the Patriots, and then the Dolphins trading back and letting someone come up and take Jahdae Barron. I wouldn't hate that as a Dolphins fan. I'm all right with. I love Walter Nolan. Would love to have him, so I'm A-okay with that. But let me know what you guys think about these picks. It's once you get to like pick 15-ish, anywhere from 15 to pick 40, you could pick almost any player there. Like Donovan Ezeraku could go at 15. He could also go in the second round. Nick Eamon could go at, Miami's pick. They could take him at pick 13, or he could go in the second round. You could have someone like Jalen Walker go at pick number 8, or 29, 28, 30. Somewhere down here. Gray Zabel is someone I see mocked a lot to Arizona if they don't move up here. Could see him that early or this late. It's just all over the place. So that's why these are always fun to do, especially when you start to factor in just a couple of trades. I didn't get crazy with it, only making 2. Maybe we'll do one at a later date with more. But today we're just going to have the 2 picks. So let me know what you guys think about your team's pick in the comment down below. And if you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button. It takes you 2 seconds to do it. And it just lets you know whenever we post a new draft-related video. We've got 21, 22 days left until the draft, 23 days, I think, as I'm recording this, until the draft. So it is coming up. We have all of our position ranking videos outside of the offensive tackle ones still to come out. So those will all be recorded and released in the next 3 weeks for you guys. So if you're, like I said, if you're not already following the channel, I don't know what you're doing. If you love the NFL draft, this is the place to be. We'll see you guys in the next one.